Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We gotta start running because, man, do we have a lot to get through. Every time we do the preview show, and I'm like, we got a lot to get through on the preview, and then forget that there's even more next week that we have to talk about with the results. 4 matches on the pre-show, let's just nail them out one by one. Cruiserweight Championship, Tony Nese taking the belt off Buddy Murphy, first shock of the night.
With my predictions at the beginning of the show, you would have thought I would just Kurt Hawkins. I went 1-9 in the first 10 matches.
Nice. I'm pretty sure I went a very similar. There was very few matches that I guess went the way that I expected to in the early game. And this, as I said, was the first shock of the night. I really didn't see Tony Nese walking out with the purple belt at the end of WrestleMania.
And New York City was 1-0 for the evening.
Oh, that number just keeps going up. Because the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal rocked up, and Carmella ended up picking up that win.
Yeah, Sarah Logan got a moment. Dana Brooke did, which shocked some people. Some people like me, not so much. But there were a few little moments in the match, and then Carmella won it all and made the New York area 2-0.
Yeah, I was quite happy with the Sarah Logan, the moments with her. She did really well. Like, it was a really good showcase for her. And as you say, Carmella wins, ends up bringing it up to 2-0, and that brings us to our third match, the Raw Tag Team Championships. We have new champions.
Yeah, this was the one match in the first 10 matches I actually got right.
And to be fair, storyline-wise, was the least likely to happen.
Yeah, especially considering they were basically hometown people. Because, again, Hawkins and Ryder are from New York, the New York area. Which makes them 3-0 on the evening.
Does the hometown curse reverse if it's at WrestleMania? Because didn't Naomi win as well? Or something like that?
Maybe Naomi broke the hometown curse.
She's reversed it, oh my god. Was Naomi's win on the pre-show?
No, I think it was on the main show.
Oh yeah, because it was the first one, so they kept it on the main show, yeah. Let's not talk technicalities, we don't have time for that.
Actually, her hometown curse breaking was her winning the women's championship.
You make a good point.
At Atlanta, because she's from Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to just ignore my blunder and move on to the fourth match, which is Braun Strowman winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Why did we doubt it?
It was the most obvious, and we just didn't think it would happen.
It happened, alright. I'm fine with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, the clear storyline here is that there was 27 men, and then Braun Strowman versus the 2 celebrities. That was pretty much it. Everybody had to get out of the way at the start, so that we could have our Braun Strowman, Che and Jost moment. But it got everybody on the card, and everybody got to have their little moments. Now, we are on the main show. Brock Lesnar, he ain't gonna wait around, so he wants his match right now.
Yep. Since he's not going to be the last match on the card, he wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. And, well, Seth made sure that he got his wish.
Oh, how that backfired.
Yep. They spent about 5 minutes beating down Seth before starting the match, but the match itself only lasted 3 minutes.
Yeah.
After the bell rang. And yeah, we have a new Universal Champion.
So you got this one wrong, did you, when you were guessing?
Yes. I picked Lesnar because I didn't believe. I didn't believe that WWE was going to finally say enough is enough with Brock. I figured there would probably be some sort of moment that would involve Daniel Cormier too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure multiple times when we were talking in the chat, I predicted DC popping up. But there was the UFC jab at the start by Paul Heyman, and it seems like he just dropped the belt and is going to be heading on his merry way. I don't quite know whether some stuff broke down, or whether it was just time.
I don't know, but in the end, it was for the best because I get to actually see a champion in 3 weeks.
Oh, come on. You would have had the mid-card title.
I didn't even get that the last time I went to a house show. Seriously, it was Miz was champion, and I got the Miz Taraj instead.
Yeah. Let's move on, because we're 7 minutes through a 28-minute show. AJ Styles, he defeated Randy Orton despite the lighting rig.
Yeah, I was going to say, despite the fact that most people couldn't actually see the match. Does that mean it actually happened?
If nobody watched the match, did it actually happen? Yes, because it further reinforces your losing streak here.
Yeah, I had picked Orton. I should have known better. Moving on.
Yeah, although it does appear as though AJ Styles was injured from this match, potentially. Hearing all sorts of things. As you say, though, moving on, SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos successfully retaining.
Why did I believe that they would do anything with Rusev and Nakamura?
To be fair, my pick of Black and Ricochet was just to annoy you, so...
The biggest story of that was that Ricochet and Black became the first tag team in history to lose both the Raw and SmackDown titles in the matches in the same week, and then you throw in the NXT tag team titles on top of that.
Yeah. They're not very good, are they? They just lost 3 matches.
Yeah, only when the titles are on the line.
But continuing the storyline, because we gotta jam all the shows together or we ain't gonna be able to get to them all. Over on SmackDown, new champs.
Yeah, and there was some weird stuff with the Usos, not being on the same page. Which never happens.
No, pretty much since they've been introduced, they've been that well-oiled machine, classic brothers, just knowing whatever the other one's thinking.
Which leads me to believe that maybe the shakeup's going to break them up.
Oh no. Don't put that in the universe. No, you can't do that. I refuse to believe. Hardy Boys, new champs. Usos just had an off night. They'll go to Raw. They'll do well over there. They'll beat Rydens and Hawkins and Ryder. I'll get their name right once or twice. Shane McMahon, Miz, they had a Falls Count Anywhere match. You know what? I really laughed in this match because when they went to the crowd and they were where the match ended, in the background there was a sign for concessions.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they almost made it. They almost made it. And instead they decided that they were going to fight on the rig that Triple H and The Undertaker fought at WrestleMania 17.
Mm-hmm. As cameramen run around trying to figure out how not to get hit.
And it was a great match. A really good match. Probably my match of the night.
Ooh, okay. High praises then.
Unfortunately for The Miz, he came up just a tad bit short. And then his father became a meme.
To be fair, his father's been a meme a couple of times, I think, but this one's particularly great. And it appears as though past WrestleMania, from his actions on SmackDown, that Shane McMahon as a heel character will be sticking around for a little while.
Poor Greg Hamilton, who I think is really good at his job.
You just want to see him sock him one, don't you?
Yeah, I really wanted him to hit Shane during that. But I'm also kind of hoping that he introduces somebody to do that as well when he goes to do the best in the world introduction.
Yeah. Well, your match of the night was Shane McMahon defeating The Miz. My match of the night, it was the very next match, because we have new women's tag champs.
Apparently, Earth 51 exists in a plane in which we actually exist in, and we have Hawkins and Ryder as a tag team champion. We have Seth Rollins as Universal Champion, and we have the Iconics as a tag team champion.
I told you it would happen. I kept saying it. Nobody would listen to me. Iconics gonna win. Iconics gonna win.
I have no problem with it.
They've already had a successful defense as well. That just proves that they're going to be an amazing tag team. They can defeat any local competitor you put in front of them. To be fair, though, I'm pretty sure Paige said something about having some competitors for them next week. So,
or she said she was bringing a rather impressive tag team next week, which leads me to believe the Sky Pirates are coming.
It's highly likely.
It's either that or the two top ladies from NXT UK.
Yeah, true. Let's not put too many Aussies in a ring at once. That'll just get a little confusing for everybody. Time to... Oh, this is going to be a big discussion point. But it's a song, we're going to have to talk about it first. The WWE Championship match. They did it, Josh. They did it.
Earth 51 is also a world in which Kofi Kingston is WWE Champion.
And didn't lose it the next night.
Or
I feel like that's important.
Or on Tuesday. It was such an amazing moment. Kofi winning was moment of the night. It was a good match. No, far beyond anything the Iconics.
I'm disappointed in you.
But it was an amazing moment to see the crowd react and to see Kofi and the New Day just break down as happy as they were.
Mm-hmm.
And that is WrestleMania for me. That's why I watch WrestleMania. It's for moments like that one.
You've given me pins and needles, and I don't like it. Can you take them away? I'm with you. This was not about the match per se. It wasn't about the bell to bell. It was about everything that led up to that first bell, and then everything that happened after the second one. And I'm not saying, the match was bad. I'm just saying that it was bigger than the match. And yeah, I think you've said everything about the celebration that I can say, really. I have nothing more to add, other than the fact that on Raw, they sort of teased a winner-take-all match.
At least they very much teased having only one champion for the. But thanks to the Bar, who has been doing Vince McMahon's dirty work for a while, and thus why it made sense, Internet, we did not get a conclusion to that match.
I think a lot of weird stuff. You keep mentioning Earth 51. It feels like we're almost in a crossover episode at the moment. Everybody's sort of getting mixed up and shaken around prior to the shakeup officially. Is it next week, is it?
Yeah, it's next week.
And I guess that will settle everybody down, figure out where they're going to land, what they're going to do, and all of this sort of stuff. There was a lot of Raw guys on SmackDown, a lot of SmackDown guys on Raw. And it'll be interesting to see what the shakeup actually does this year and how shaky the shakeup actually gets. Alright, it's time for the entrance theme. You were a betting man, like, months ago, when you said, I'm saving Kofi's theme. I'm saving Kofi's theme. Well, it paid off for you, Josh, because now we get to play Kofi's theme. And you're back with a wrestling roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, MPR, Grady and Josh. We still have like half the show to go through, man. Luckily, this next match was nice and short. 60 seconds. Title retention.
Yeah, hey. It was a long show. Something had to be short. and with a person like Joe, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Samoa Joe just absolutely tears through Rey Mysterio. There's not much really we can comment on this match, but over on SmackDown, Joe got himself some larger competition.
He found out that he is not the most athletic big man on the roster, because he finally ran into somebody who is more athletic than he is, while also being bigger than he is.
He's better in every way.
Braun.
At least if it's something for Braun, I'm happy with it, man. Dude's been floundering for a while. We got like 5 more matches. I'm gonna have to skip us over from Joe and talk about another Samoan Joe, but this time he defeated my dearest Drew McIntyre.
It was okay. It was what it was. I don't think either person was really happy with the match. And Roman definitely has had some rust on him. So, It is what it is. But Drew got to go to...
It's not Drew's fault.
Yeah, he got to go to SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, not a whole lot to say about this match. The Reigns winning part was obvious heading into it. And as you say, the match content itself wasn't the most spectacular. But next up, we got a no-holds-barred match with a career on the line, and in some twist of fate, the other person ended up retiring at the end of the match.
Yeah, that was weird. But it was a good match. It was definitely a good match.
Grady really liked it.
It had a lot of psychology in it, which is unfortunately a lost art. And ultimately, I guess that was the O&B outcome anyway. The right person won, even though I picked against it.
Yeah, I also picked against it. I wouldn't have been surprised had either man won. I'm not surprised Batista walked away after this. I am surprised that Batista walking away wasn't baked into the match. You know, it was pretty easy to put that into the feud, but I don't know if he was still making up his mind, I guess. This, as much as he says he is retired, it still in theory leaves the door open. But yeah, so Triple H wins after ripping out a nose ring and steps being involved and tables and all the jazz.
And then Ric Flair.
With old
Not
Sledgy.
DX as everybody expected. Ric Flair.
I think it would have been a little bit too obvious had since Shawn Michaels was on commentary. But yeah, Ric Flair coming up. It made sense, you know. It's kind of how the whole feud started. Kurt Angle, he had his last match. He went out on his back to Baron Corbin.
In the time-honored tradition of putting somebody over on your way out.
I would never have predicted this match to go the other way, so I'm not particularly surprised by the result at all.
No. Although, I think he probably is wishing that he hadn't gone out and wished Baron luck.
Yeah.
Because he got punished for that by apparently somebody who hates Attitude Era stars in the name of Lars Sullivan.
He's definitely taken out a section of people. Whether that's on purpose or not, we'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, not only did Kurt Angle go out on his back with Baron Corbin, he then literally went out on his back to Lars Sullivan as well. So Kurt's just putting over all the boys.
And then Lars went over to SmackDown and destroyed our new SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, especially with the shakeup, because I'm assuming all these NXT guys who are floating around will get themselves some permanent positions.
Yeah, they'll finally lose those NXT tags in their introduction names.
Now, everybody was talking about this match, and they wanted this to be John Cena. Okie dokie. This is my segue into talking about the John Cena segment. He comes out and interrupts Elias, but as the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Had Kofi not won the title, this theme might have been this week's theme.
I'm pretty sure
I know how you feel about that
theme, yeah.
It's that theme. But yeah, this was another major WrestleMania moment, and of course, you couldn't help but make the obvious joke with Elias playing with himself.
Yeah. It was so easy.
Yes.
But yeah, I loved everything to do with this segment. Elias is constantly going to get interrupted, that's okay. John Cena coming out Thugonomics gear, I sure as hell didn't expect it. I don't know how many other people were expecting it. But then, even more... No, I'm not going to try and segue. Over on Raw, he also got interrupted, but this time he tipped his hand a little bit beforehand.
He shouldn't have said that the person that interrupted him would be a dead man, because a dead man did.
The Undertaker didn't show up at WrestleMania, but did show up at the Raw after.
That's how long his entrance was.
You were saving that, right? You knew I was going to bring this up, and you're like, I'm going to make this joke. Yeah, we'll see what this means, I guess, in the future of The Undertaker. Maybe he'll get assigned a brand in the shakeup.
Actually, I think this just has to do with the Saudi Arabia show.
No, don't say that. We're not
That's
allowed
what
to
I've
mention
heard.
those shows anymore.
That's what I've heard.
We have 2 more matches left, and 2 minutes ago should have ended. Finn Balor, or the Demon, defeats Bobby Lashley and picks up the Intercontinental Championship. Nice and short.
Yep. It was what it was.
Never bet against the Demon.
Nope, apparently not.
And then in the finale, the last match on the card, Becky Lynch wins both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships.
This was a really good match too. Marred a little bit by the ending, but not so much for the botch at the end. But I was spoiled on the end of the match. Because I broke the little timer when you pause it on the live stream. And it skipped ahead to where it was in the next playing. But beforehand, it played Becky's music. And I was like 2 minutes before the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused by the ending. But all I know now is that Becky Lynch is champ.
Becky 2 belts.
And I'm looking forward to see what happens. Raw, SmackDown, shake-up, let's see.
Especially Lacey Evans is extremely happy to meet the man.
I think you mean New Charlotte, as Becky described her on Twitter. Yeah, Lacey pretty much putting her flag in the sand here very quickly. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that feud going forward. Is there anything from Raw and SmackDown that we missed? Because I'm sure there is, but hopefully nothing super important.
Not really. It's nothing important. I don't think it's not like it's not going. Most of it's not going to continue on next week anyway.
Easy. And from NXT TakeOver, Johnny Gargano won the NXT belt, Walter won the UK belt, and everybody else retained. There's your quick results for NXT TakeOver. Alright, I think that's all we've got time for. Hopefully we'll be able to fit that all in. It's been great talking to you.
Maybe.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRRadio. And we'll see you next week.